So today on Z's Table Talk, I will be discussing miracles do happen. Well, I'm going to share a little testimony about exactly that. In the year 2000, I went to a women's conference with my Aunt Tracy and Miss Felicia, another member of our church at the time, and we had a great time. And before we went, my family had experienced a very traumatic event. So during this time, I had really been seeking God and asking God to give me direction and ask Him what was my calling and purpose. And I prayed constantly. And so this conference really was needed. While we were in Atlanta, Georgia for this conference, which was a three-night conference, and I had taken my wheelchair and crutches with me. On the first 2 nights, I took my wheelchair to the conference, and on the third night, my aunt and Miss Felicia asked me at dinner. They said, Lika, why don't you try to take your crutches instead of your wheelchair so that we can get closer and, get closer to see, the preacher and just get closer in the atmosphere. And I was a little concerned because I knew it was a lot of walking. We had to take a shuttle from our hotel to the train station to get to the Georgia Dome. And so they said, if you get tired, we'll carry you. And so while we were at the conference, the message for the conference was referring to the woman with the issue of blood who had been having a bleeding condition for 18 years. And while I was sitting there, I was reflecting because I was thinking to myself, I've had this condition for 21 years. And I was 21 at the time. And while we were at the conference, and as I was sitting there, I was like, Lord, if I can just be healed. I just wanted to feel how it felt to not be having to use my crutches or a wheelchair. I just wanted to be free. I had just been seeking God for that. And so after this service, we were looking for the train, actually. We couldn't find the train station. And we got stopped by this woman, and she said to me, can I pray for you? And this was the third woman that had stopped me that day. Before we had went to the service, I got stopped by two other women who asked me the same thing. Can I pray for you? And I said, yeah, sure. And so they prayed with me, and they said, continue to believe and have faith that God's going to heal you. So I said yes, and I agreed, and I went about my way. And after we got out of the conference that night, it was like 11 o'clock, and we were, like I said, we were having trouble finding our train station, and no one knew where it was, and we just thought it was really weird that we couldn't find it. And there was a reason, though. I got stopped by another woman, and I call this woman an angel from the Lord because she stopped me and Miss Felicia and my Aunt Tracy and said the same thing. Can I pray for you? And I said yes. But this lady was different. She said,